The worst case scenario ever. You are on an amazing cruise. You're having a fantastic time. You're on day 3 or 4, whatever it is. And sure enough, you make it back to the dock and you see your floating hotel floating away without you. You're left behind. What to do, what to know, how to avoid it, and in the event it happens, what it's really going to look like. Let's talk about missing that cruise ship today. Don't do it. Spoiler, don't do it. It's a cruiser's worst nightmare. You are on an amazing cruise adventure and you end up missing the ship. Let's roll back a little bit and talk about how this happened, how to avoid it, and what to bring with you just so that you're prepared in the event that this happens. First and foremost, let's talk about avoiding it. And the most important thing to do, you guessed it, pay attention to the announcements, the handouts, and even in the app, it should tell you when you have to be back on the ship. Now, as a general rule of thumb, I am actually back on the ship at least 30 minutes prior to that onboard time. I don't like to risk it. I'm like, you know what? Things can go wrong. I could trip walking up to the boat. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, right? So I always leave at a very minimum, a 30-minute window. More like an hour, though. I kind of like to be near the ship within an hour time frame of its scheduled departure. You never know. You never know what happens. You don't know what's going on. Maybe there's a computer issue and you have to just kind of stand outside the ship a little bit. They're still going to get you on. That's fine. But I like to play it safe for something like this because the hassle and the headache for missing that ship is just not worth it. So in addition to checking when you have to be back on that pamphlet that they give you or in the app or through the announcement, I set an alarm on my phone or my watch, whatever I have with me, so I remember when I have to leave where I would have been. Let's pretend I'm going to some beach, maybe going to an area near St. Thomas, and I need to be back on the ship by a certain time. I'll set my alarm for the time I need to leave that island. Not 30 minutes prior to ship departure where I have to take an Uber or a taxi back to the ship. No. If I know it's going to take 30 minutes to get back from that car, I'm going to leave an hour and a half beforehand just because I want that window 30 minutes plus traffic, right? So let's give them an hour and then I've got more than 30 minutes to go to get on the ship. It's no problem. I always give myself that leeway, and I set that alarm with time to spare to get back to the port. Another way you can avoid / make it just simpler for not missing the ship, and if you miss it, it's not a big deal, is to book your excursions through the cruise ship. Now, for many of the cruise lines, booking the excursion through them is actually a little bit more expensive. Not always, and I'm going on some ships soon that the price is very similar, sometimes slightly less, usually similar though. But booking it through the cruise line itself is going to reassure you that if anything happens with that excursion, the ship knows where you are and they are taking responsibility in the event that you can't get back. And let's pretend it's just you, like you and your family. Nobody else from the ship is there. It's like an hour after the ship was supposed to leave and it's gone. You get back to the port and the ship's not even in sight anymore. Like it's gone, right? The cruise ship will have someone there to help you. We'll get back to that in a minute, but they are responsible for the logistics, the financial aspect. It's their responsibility because their excursion operator did not get back in time. It's on them, not on you. Kind of sit back, relax, they'll take you where you need to go. Now, another piece of advice that I got and I'm thinking about is to book excursions earlier in the day so you have a bigger window to get back in case there's an issue. Now, that does work for some of the adventures that we're going on, some of the places that we're going to, but some of the excursions are all-day things. Like, there's no really way around it. If you want to go to these places, you've got to, kind of be there the entire day. So, in that situation, again, I'm booking it through the cruise line. Cruise line's responsible in case there's any issues, and I'm telling you, they almost never miss it. Now, what should you do in advance just in case? Not saying it's going to happen, and it's very unlikely that it will happen, but just in case, to prepare to make things much easier for yourself. What can you do in advance to avoid hassle if it's there on the dock and you're waving your ship farewell as it's leaving you behind? First and most importantly, get pictures of your important documents. You want to get your passport, the entire page of it, your credit cards, front and back, license, your driver's license, front and back. Make sure you get pictures of that on your phone, saved in a very special, safe place. So in the event that you're left behind, you've got that information right at your fingertips, no problem, and leave with a full charge on your phone. I shouldn't have to say that, but I do the same thing. Leave with a full charge on your phone. Now, in addition, there are some extremely important phone numbers you're going to want to have in your phone. First and foremost, the cruise line customer service number, and not just like the main number. There should be like an emergency number. It should be listed somewhere in maybe like the pamphlets that you get when you first step on board, but also have the main number there as well. They'll be able to help you and connect you. If you can speak to a live person, you'll be able to get help through the cruise line. In addition, if you purchased insurance for the cruise, whether it be through the cruise line itself or some other insurance, have their number in your phone. And in addition, for my American friends, you want to make sure that you have the embassy's number for each port that you're going to. So you'll be able to call the embassy, no problem. They'll be able to help get you back home or where you need to go. Okay, now let's imagine it happened. The unthinkable happened, and it's not fun. It is not going to be fun. You see your ship sailing away. It's got to be just a heart-wrenching moment. Some are going to be sad, some are going to be angry, some are going to just be frustrated. There may be tears. Like, it's not going to be a fun experience, but thankfully there are some things that are going to happen right then that are going to make things a bit easier for you. And actually witness this happening. Thank goodness it's never happened to me, and I hope it never does. But I witnessed this happening before, where I saw some guests. It was the Disney Cruise Line from Key West, and they were announcing the guests' names. Hello, are you know, please let us know immediately if you're here. Call us, guest services, immediately if you're here. The guest never showed. Disney left a cruise agent behind at the port for the guests. And most cruise lines will do this as well. They'll leave someone behind, or they'll someone who will be stationed there. And they know they left someone behind, so they're waiting at the port for you to come back and check in with them, and they'll be able to at least help you a little bit. Keep in mind, you are financially responsible for things that happen here. Like, if you miss it, yes, insurance may help if you have insurance, and if it's the cruise excursion, they're going to be financially responsible. That being said, it's just going to be a massive headache. So anything you can do to avoid this happening, do it. Seriously, you do not want to be that person stuck behind. You really don't. Assuming that you found that agent who can help you, they'll be able to give you all the information you need, from hotels, flights, where to go. You may end up going to the next cruise port and waiting for the ship there. That does happen from time to time. Or maybe you just call it a day and just go home at that point. So one of those two things is likely going to happen. Either go home or you meet the ship at the next stop. If it's like day 2 of a 9-night vacation, you're probably going to meet them at the next stop. If it's day 8, you're probably going home. So that's one of those things. But if they're there, they'll be able to help you out and give you these options and hotels and all of that. Again, you're financially responsible. That being said, if you can't find them or they're not there, you're going to need that list of phone numbers, like, immediately, right? You're going to have to figure out what you're going to do, because you're probably going to, first number I would call is the cruise line customer service number, right? Just call them, be like, okay, this happened, connect me with the right people. They'll be able to connect you with whoever it may be, their emergency contacts, all that, people on the ship. They'll be able to figure that out, and then they'll kind of walk you through where you have to go. Also, having the important information, like the embassy or what other information you need for your insurance, for example, that's going to be critical. So having those numbers is going to help you a lot. Now, there is a piece that we're kind of forgetting here. Your stuff's still on the ship, so you're going to need to get that back. More often than not, the cruise will provide shipping if you need to, and they'll kind of just throw all your stuff into a box or bag and ship it to you, but it will be extremely expensive, and you'll have to pay for that too. So a lot of factors to think about. Don't miss it. Although there are a mix of emotions from different people when they see videos of people just running after the ship. Oh, please, no, wait for me. It can be a moment of, just really feeling sad for them. It can be a moment of, kind of laughing, like, oh my gosh. But needless to say, it's not a fun experience. So do everything you can not to miss the ship. Pay attention to the time you need to be back, and be back early, just to make sure that there's no last minute crunch where you have to worry about it sailing away if you're 2 minutes behind schedule. That's kind of an overview of what happens in the event that you miss it, and some things to do just in case, so that you're prepared. Now, if you've been on a ship before and you've seen people running for the ship at the last second, or maybe you've heard stories of friends and family, or perhaps, I hope it didn't happen, but let's pretend for a moment, if you ever missed the ship before, let us know in the comments below. Tell us that story. We definitely want to hear from you. Thanks to our patrons for making all of our videos possible, and thanks to you for watching. Until next time, have a magical day, and see you real soon.